Good evening, everyone. Today is June the 8th, 2020. Call to order the Mayor and City Council work session. The first item on the agenda is item number 1956, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland, to amend the general operation budget and the capital improvement program of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland for the fiscal year of July the 1st, 2019 through June the 30th, 2020. I think we have the Director of Budget, Ms. Saylor. Are you available?
Yes, Mr. President. Good evening to you and everyone. Ordinance 1956 is a first amendment to our FY 2020 operating and capital improvement program. On the operating budget side, we're proposing for an overall decrease of $239,335 to a new budget total of $34,484,535. Including in the changes are a reduction to state shared taxes, which includes the loss of revenue in admissions and amusement taxes due to the government and the COVID shutdown of leisure and entertainment activities, as well as the impact aid for the racetrack. While the racetrack is outside the city limits, we do receive impact aid due to the traffic going through the city. The next item is an increase in state grants. This is 90% of a $15,000 grant obtained by the Department of Economic and Community Development. And this was specifically for census outreach. The next adjustment is an increase to other miscellaneous revenues, which includes offsetting expenditures for 4th of July event activities from the last celebration, as well as some of the expenditures made in preparation for the 150th anniversary event. The next line is a fund transfer, $50,800, and that includes, so it's an offset of expenditures from the Economic and Community Development budget, which were grants for Main Street relocation, facade and sign grants to local businesses in the Main Street area. The next set of figures are all the offsets in the expenditure budget in order to reduce the revenue for the admissions and amusement and racetrack. So that's a $50,000 reduction to the mayor's budget, specifically from the legal services line item. The addition of $64,300 to economic and community development. Again, it's the corresponding offset for the census outreach expenditures, as well as the grant program for local businesses. Those grants were all pre-COVID. This didn't have anything to do with recovering from the pandemic effects. This was a grant programs already in place. The next line is for community promotion, and that's where those expenditures are budgeted for the 4th of July committee and the 150th committee. The next set of changes is a decrease of $125,000 to the city fleet automotive maintenance budget, the snow and ice removal budget, and the street lighting budget, and these are being used to offset the loss of revenue. So that completes the changes to the operating budget. The next section is for some adjustments in the capital improvement program. The first adjustment is an additional $80,000 for the cable studio equipment that will allow broadcasting of social media, and $385,000 is being added for police vehicles, additional funding to allow us to catch up with the purchases that were made this year. So that's an additional $465,000 to the FY 2020 capital improvement projects. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Director Saylor. Open up any questions for the council. Start with Councilmember Nicholas.
No questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilmember Smith. Thank you, sir. Councilmember Lash.
Mr. President, I'm fine with this, recognizing that has been pointed out, this may be the first of an additional amendment that we'll see on this budget. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Councilmember DeWalt.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move this item to our work session, meeting scheduled for June the 8th at 6 p.m. We're going to suspend the rules on this, and we're going to hopefully pass it tonight. Next recommendation is a bid recommendation for IT HP servers, and I'll turn it over to Director Frost from the Department of IT.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mayor, and council members. Before you tonight is a recommendation to replace 3 HP servers that have been running for 5 years. These are critical servers, and they're no longer under warranty, and they really need to be replaced. This is a funded item in the CIP. The cost of the servers is $71,937.15, including 5-year support and maintenance. The purchase will be made on state contract. The vendor is E+ of Fulton, Maryland. They're a master contractor on the state of Maryland hardware contract. Any questions?
Thank you, Director Frost. Any questions for the council? Start with Councilmember. Thank you, sir. Councilmember Smith.
I have no questions.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Nicholas.
I have no questions. I just want to compliment Kevin because he's always staying on all of the updates and the changes with the IT world. So I just appreciate your effort and all that you do to keep us up to date and running smoothly.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman DeWalt.
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Councilman DeWalt. Okay, we'll move this on our regular scheduled meeting for June the 8th, 2020 at 6 p.m. We're going to suspend the rules on this as well. This passed tonight. Next item on the agenda is resolution number resolution 1220, a resolution of the mayor and city council, Laurel, Maryland, to adopt the City of Laurel Appendix 1, City of Laurel, Maryland Flood Hazard Addendum to the Prince George County City of Laurel Hazard Mitigation Plan. I turn it over to Emergency Manager, Mr. Steve Allen.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members. This resolution effectively adopts the addendum that we want to include as part of our 5-year hazard mitigation plan. This document updates a lot of the flood mitigation projects that's going on within the city, and subsequently we needed to clarify both for MEMA and FEMA a document that really details more specifically than the projects that are currently in our 5-year hazardous mitigation plan. So this addendum will do that for us. If in fact you adopt it, and then it will be sent down to Prince George's County, and then to the Maryland Emergency Management Agency, and then to the Federal Emergency Management Agency to be adopted to become an official part of our 5-year hazardous mitigation plan. Thank you. I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. I open up the floor for Councilman DeWalt. Any questions on resolution number 1220?
No questions.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Nicholas, any questions on resolution number 1220?
No questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilmember Smith, any questions on resolution number 1220?
No questions.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Lash.
President, I'm fine with this.
Thank you, sir. We're going to move this to our regular scheduled meeting for June the 8th, 2020 at 6 p.m. I request that we suspend the rules, get this legislation passed. Any further questions for the work session? Meeting adjourned.